bread, beer. That was the paycheck, not for one guy, for 100,000 men, building the largest structure on Earth. They weren't slaves, they were paid workers, and they were hungry. Egypt at its peak wasn't just powerful. It was the most organized economy on the planet. Central government, central food supply. One king at the top, that was the whole system. And it worked until the Pharaoh decided to build the pyramids. In a Ponzi scheme, new investors pay the old ones. The whole thing runs on promises until it doesn't. The pyramids were that just 4,500 years earlier, and the Pharaoh was the CEO. Building a pyramid costs an insane amount of resources. The Pharaoh didn't have the cash. So he paid his governors in land, tax-free land, forever. No expiration date, no takebacks. First pyramid, fine. Second, still fine. But he kept building and building and building. Watch this map. Every pyramid built, more land gone. Each generation, the king owns less of his own country. The nobles, richer, untaxed, untouchable. The Pharaoh was spending his future to fund his present. Sound familiar? By the 6th dynasty. The Pharaoh couldn't collect taxes anymore. The land wasn't his, the food wasn't his. He had the stones. The nobles had everything else. King in title, broke in practice. A Ponzi scheme survives on one condition. New money keeps coming in. Then, something went very wrong. Around 2200 BC, the climate shifted. The Nile stopped flooding. For years, no flood, no crops, no food. Simple as that. This happened to every civilization in the region. Most of them recovered. Egypt didn't. Why? Because in a normal kingdom, the king feeds the people during a famine. That's the deal. That's the whole point of having a king. But Egypt's king had already sold that ability, pyramid by pyramid, for 500 years. The grain was sitting in private silos, and private silos don't open for a king with nothing left to offer. The government dissolved. No food distribution, no army, no Egypt. The most powerful nation on the planet fractured into 40 warlord zones in under a decade. That's what happens when a Ponzi scheme finally collapses. Just like that. The old kingdom wasn't invaded. It wasn't conquered. It was bankrupted by a spending decision made 500 years before the collapse. Death in slow motion. Death by vanity. They built the most recognizable structures in human history, and that's exactly what killed them. Charles Ponzi ran his scheme for 2 years before it collapsed. The pharaohs ran theirs for 5 centuries. So, which government today is running the same play? Drop it in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. And don't miss out, we're here 3 minutes every day.